I think there's a great need for a way to communicate about the stories that we all follow together. And what I mean by stories is news that is an ongoing series like the presidential elections or sports teams or television entertainment. These are the things that we all talk about at the water cooler at work. These are the things we talk about with our family in the living rooms. It's something we all do. And today, the current social media platforms are not ideal for conversations. And so we feel like the opportunity is very available for an engaging conversation platform.
Why is, for example, Facebook, Twitter not a good platform for conversations? Because in a way, many feel that there was an awful lot put out in terms of people's own viewpoints on these social media areas.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think they're both terrific companies and serve a terrific purpose. If you look at Facebook first, I think the market for personal content, the things that we do every day, the triumphs with our kids and our friends, that sort of stratified with Instagram being the widest reach, the top moments, Facebook being your highlight reel from which you pick your top moment on Instagram, and Snapchat being the engaging conversation place that people have more intimate conversations. And I think the same is going to happen with the personal content, with professional content that's on Twitter, whether it's news, sports, entertainment. Today, I think Twitter's moving up to that broad reach, breaking news, great for celebrities, one-to-many. It's not the safest and most conducive place for conversations. A lot of people feel nervous about trolls. They feel it's worried about and hard to use. But there is an opportunity for a more engaging, fun kind of place to talk about these stories with your friends that is very much consistent with what Twitter's doing.
So how will Raftr protect people? How will you ensure that there isn't trolling? How will you ensure that you don't have the knock-on effects of, in many ways, the fake news that has become so much a concern to many?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know that we can ever fully protect it. It is the internet, after all. I'm sure that we'll see some of those same issues. But I think we've tried to build in some safeguards. So, for example, we have a phone number as our registration. So, and most people only have one phone. So you can't create 30 email accounts under different pseudonyms and troll in the same way that is possible on other networks, and that was a very deliberate decision. In addition, we have curators, content curators, that are writing for us each week, and they're linking the best content, and they're governing what kinds of content is linked to the kinds of episodes that we produce. So we have a few safeguards in place that we think will help make it safe, will help make it less susceptible to some of the problems that are out there today.
Curation has become a big key talking point, and about whether the human is better than the automation. Are you going to be mixing a bit of both, or is it really just human people who are deciding which stories are of most prevalence, which have the most authority and indeed the most true?
You know, we do a mix of both. So first, our users vote with their feet, right? There are 30 million people who follow on Twitter and Facebook the kinds of stories that we are offering. We looked at what people are talking about, what kinds of stories they want to talk about, and right away the human opinion is a part of how we select and curate our stories. Secondly, we're architected around following stories, not following people. And that's the key difference versus other social networks. What happens with other social networks is you're going to get information from your friends and friends of friends and friends of friends, and those circles are getting wider and wider. And sometimes your interests don't overlap necessarily with all of your social graphs. Ours is designed from the get-go to be just following the stories that you care about, and so you're self-selecting. That's where our algorithm comes in, and the technology is that we're only serving posts and serving you stories that are ones that you follow.